Welcome back to Knights HQ podcast, the official podcast of the NIB Newcastle Knights, and we have our special guest in the house.
Arguably the specialist guest of the season.
The specialist of all guests. Let's call it number one.
Number one guest.
Let's go, Lav. Who have we got?
I famously rated him number one on my player ranking.
Yes.
Aku.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
How's it going?
Yeah, been good. Thank you. Just busy with family and
life. Yeah,
Life.
Unreal. As Lav said, so we did a blind ranking where, I don't know if you've seen this fad on TikTok and stuff, but like you get given names of players in any sport and you don't know who's coming next. You got to rate them 1 through 5. Lav's put you.
You got number one.
Number one.
Yes, yes.
And then
I think that's because you were helping her though during the trek, right?
Yeah. And then it was like Joey. And my whole argument was like, oh, but like we did the trek together. And then they were like, Mark Hughes. I think Hughes ended up being 5.
Yeah. It's a tough one, man. Not knowing who's coming next is always, but I think number one, hey, that's a perfect ranking.
It's a perfect ranking. That's what I said. I did argue that it was correct.
Hey, Aku, what we normally do, brother, is we talk to players about their career to know how much they remember of their career.
Yeah, man.
So we normally give them a little player quiz to start off. So
okay.
I reckon you'll do pretty well. I reckon you'll do pretty well. So
let's get it.
First question, here we go. You made your debut in round 19 in 2008 against the Sharks. You scored a try on debut. Who kicked a field goal that night for the Knights?
Kurt.
Close. The other half that probably would have kicked it.
Oh no.
He's blanking. He's like scrap the episode. I'm done.
Would have played 6.
There's a lot of 6.
He did play for 8 years.
Yeah.
Is he a back rower?
No. Half.
Is this bad if I don't get it?
He's no. He's currently up on the Sunshine Coast. He got inducted into the Knights Hall of Fame the other year, last year I believe. Jared Mullen.
Did he kick?
Yep. 2008.
No.
Yeah.
He
Mullo.
never kicked.
16-13 loss apparently.
That's why.
And that keeps when you debut, you normally lose streak alive.
It does.
It's very rare that you normally.
That's why I couldn't.
Because it's always a late call up. It's always someone's injured and you're coming in. You know what I mean? That type of situation. What do you remember about your debut?
I never guessed it.
What do you remember about it?
Me just getting called in on Wednesday.
Yeah.
We had a bye that week.
Yeah.
We were out, I think.
Yeah.
I got called in, come for ball work on that Thursday.
Yeah.
And play Friday.
Yeah. Excited?
Nervous. But I trained all week because we had a bye that week, I think, and then that was it for the weekend. And then we trained the start of the week.
Oh, cool. So you got told on the Wednesday, bye, and then you played the week after.
Pretty much, yeah.
So
you had like a whole week to prep.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
See.
That explains the try on debut.
That's right. Well, we
I've got a whole week to think about this.
Exactly right.
I actually liked it.
You did, because I was going to say normally it works against, like, because when you're debuting you're a bit nervous.
Yeah,
it's good to just be nervous for 2 days and then you're playing, rather than it be on your head, you know what I mean, on your mind for a week and a half. But you said it was you liked it.
I actually liked it because I had that mindset of like, oh, I'm not playing this week, sweet. I'm just going to turn up for training the start of the week.
Yeah,
and out a few beers with the boys and then I got called.
Yeah.
I come in for training Thursday, debuting on Friday. I was like, oh, sick.
Yeah.
I left straight away. Yeah, ready for training and yeah.
Who was the first person you called?
Mum, obviously.
Yeah.
And my brothers.
Yeah.
Mum was pretty difficult because she was in Fiji when I called her. She goes, oh, what's debut? I was like, oh, I'm playing first grade for the Knights. I was like, oh yeah.
What's debut?
Yeah. So yeah,
Nice.
You know how these days where they like do lots of like content of players ringing their parents when they're debuting and stuff. Imagine they did that for you and your mum said, "What does debut mean?"
Every time I see those videos, I'm thinking, far out. If they went back 2008, it'd be a mad story.
Oh.
That'll be a free trip over to Australia. Far out.
Okay.
Hey, let's go, Lav.
Next question. You are the Knights' leading try scorer, which is a fun fact, with 110 from 161 games. Which season did you score the most tries and how many did you score that year?
I reckon 2010
Yep. Bang.
Do you know how many?
2010, I'm not sure. But I think 2010 was pretty much, 2009 was all right. I think I was just,
2010, you nailed
confidence.
it. Yep,
I think 2010.
That was your best year for try scoring at least.
2010 was probably my funnest year, man.
Yeah.
Do you know how many you scored in that year?
Probably 20 something.
Yep. 21.
21. Yeah.
There you go.
Unreal.
I remember that year, man. That year was fun.
Yeah. That was a good year.
That was a great year. I think we had fun on the field.
Especially that year. It got to a point where, not trying to embarrass you, but if you were 10 metres out with a little bit of space,
honestly,
you were going to go. You were going over, man. Yeah.
Honestly, I had that mindset because I was having fun playing.
Yeah.
And I just remember Gids always tells me, "Go, F up, wind up. That's all you have." And I was going, "Oh yeah." So every time I got the ball, I see that try line. I was like, "No one's going to beat me here." See you later.
Yeah, unreal. All right, question number 3, mate. You scored 4 tries in a memorable game against South Sydney in the final home game of 2011.
Yeah.
I think we had to win that to make the 8 off memory too. Was that the game where we had the old school, that 1988 strip on and the light blue socks on and stuff? Was that game? Yep. Yeah, we had to win that to make the 8, I'm pretty sure. So you scored 4 tries in that game. Which Knights fan favourite played his last home game that night? His last game.
Was his last game?
Was his last game?
Second last game.
They played finals.
We played the finals.
Last regular season game.
Oh my God.
I've got a photo from that night too. Me and my mates on the fence. We'll put that up later. It's
is he
funny.
one of
I had
the
hair.
old boys? Is he that was his last game?
You know who it is.
Dukes.
Yeah. It's me and a mate and Dukes on the fence. Last game. Yeah. I had hair.
Mad
it was
dog.
the best time.
So it was a million years ago?
Yeah, a million years ago. Yeah.
I have to give him that try.
Yeah.
Do you remember that game?
Yeah. That was a sick game though, because again, we had to win that to make the 8, and so did South. We were the 2 teams that could make it at home. Old Boys Day, Dukes' final home game, and we won.
What a way to finish your career.
Yeah, man.
At home.
At home.
Must-win game.
Yeah.
Old Boys Day.
Yeah.
The dream.
It was just the stars aligned on that one. Yeah, really good.
Man.
Really good.
What a
Okay.
year.
Next question. You made your debut for New South Wales in Game 1 of 2011. Who were the 2 opposing Queensland wingers in that game?
Jarrell Yahi.
Yep.
Darius Boyd.
Bang.
Smashed it.
Bang. Do you remember who won?
We don't want to talk about it.
Obviously.
Yeah. It's not next question. He
Why
cares.
would you bring
We
that
won
up?
now. We won.
That's right. Yeah, he's got the shield at this current moment. We do.
This year.
Next.
Yes. Up
Well
the
done.
Blues.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, you're killing it now. You're on a roll. Last question. You played for Fiji 18 times.
Right.
And at 3 World Cups. You captained Fiji in a famous 4-2 win over New Zealand in the 2017 World Cup quarter-final. Sorry.
Right.
Who captained Fiji in the famous win? Sorry, not you captained. Who captained?
Kevin Nguama.
Bang. Nailed it. No try scored.
No try scored. That was a very big game.
So who kicked the penalty goals for bonus points? Do you remember?
I think it was Api.
Yep.
Jeez, I got
You
it.
got a good memory.
Yeah.
Very good.
You've done very well there.
Oh, wow.
You've redeemed
Okay.
yourself.
Yes.
No tries. Wow. When's the
tries.
last time that's happened other than that game?
I'll tell you a story on the way to the game.
Yeah.
I, when the players get out,
Yeah.
I got up on the mic and I said, "You boys are playing NRL. You want to go back to preseason?" and then all the boys are going, "Nope,
No.
oh, we have to win tonight.
Yeah.
If not, you're going back to preseason." So all the boys are pumped. So by the time we got on, the boys looked at me and goes,
Yeah.
That was a pretty good. That was a sick point.
dude.
Yeah. Everyone fell asleep on it. I was going, boys.
I don't think
No
there's
preseason.
there's a better motivation than that, right?
Mate, honestly, I hated preseason. And so as everyone in the bus, and most of the players were in the NRL. So I was like, no preseason, boys. So we have to win.
It's super funny you mentioned that, because during preseason, when there's a lot of media around and lots of things happening, because obviously there's no games, so all the talk is about training.
Journalists have nothing better to do.
Correct.
than
They got
hang out.
exactly right. And all the boys are, training's great, we're looking good, we're feeling good, blah, blah. But if they really wanted to say what they wanted to say, which is, this is hell on earth.
Yeah, it is.
I can't feel my legs.
Anyone want to give me a pundit job?
Yeah.
I actually feel like that every preseason since 2006, I think.
I do want to ask you though, as someone who
4 out of 5. Well done. 4 out of 5.
Oh, yes.
That's
4 out
good.
of
Thank
5.
you.
Well done. Yep.
As someone who had my fair share of tears walking up the freeway with you, you are a man who brings good vibes.
Oh, man.
How important was that in preseason? You said that it was hell, but I do remember being like, I can't feel my legs, and you're jogging.
Yeah,
You've got the
look.
speaker. You're like, come on, guys, we got this.
That's pretty easy. When you're walking, you can do whatever you want.
You
really.
weren't walking though. I was walking. You were jogging.
I had to. The injuries, they tighten up, and then they're like, with preseason, you're running like for 2 hours non-stop, and you're timed. You know?
Yeah.
I think Reedy will tell you the full story of me running. Every the boys do the 24 to 60s, and I'm saying, Reedy, I'm not a long distance runner. I think I hold the record 9 minutes to the 24 to 60s. I just jogged the whole way. Because I had Wayne in my head going, as long as you finish it.
Yeah.
So that was pretty, because Wayne knew me really well. Like, I wasn't really big on like long distance.
What do they call that? Bronco? What are they?
It's a Bronco.
Yeah.
I remember Wayne goes, you just finish it.
Just finish it.
So in my head, Wayne's talking to me, just finish it. Like every run, man. I was like, okay. That's me.
How was so for people that don't know this and haven't heard Lav's yarn after the trek? Aku and Lav did the trek with Mark Hughes Foundation.
Do you have all your toenails?
Yeah, and the only thing Lav said when she got back was how good you were at like bringing the vibe up and bringing everyone's emotion up, because
I think I'm pretty lucky this time.
Yeah,
pretty lucky this time with no toenails coming off.
So is that a regular thing?
Oh yeah,
pretty
Marley
much.
Silver warned me of it before I did it, and I was like, nah.
Your toenails fall off.
I have 7 toenails right now.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
I wish I was. I really wish I was.
My first one was bad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So is this after it finishes they fall off?
Yeah, so they get like.
Well, you
real,
don't want to take it off during.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
I had our masseuse, shout out Rubs No Tugs. He had to get a scalpel under my toenail.
Honestly, that's the best name. Honestly, he's a masseuse. No rubs, no tugs.
He had to scalpel underneath my
Wonder
toenail.
how he came up
you
with
told
that
me
name.
that. Yeah, that's hectic.
Yeah, but they just get real swollen, and then like 2 weeks later they come off.
Okay, because I just thought some people like choose the wrong shoes or something. And
Oh, that was me. I walked half of it in Air Force Ones.
but yeah, that's hectic. So the first one, when was your first trek? Which one did you do?
The
very first one. Yeah.
And I haven't missed it since.
Yeah, wow.
I loved it, man.
Yeah,
loved it.
Very, very cool. Very cool.
I just think I take it differently, Like my mindset during the walk is different, because I know like the reason why I'm walking.
Yeah,
you know that everyone's got stories, and I think the reason why I've done it is, you know, since I've been supportive like with the Marquis for a long time.
Yeah,
I think 16 when Mark came out with his story and all that stuff. So I was still playing.
Yeah,
and that can kind of just drive me the whole way.
Yeah.
And every year I'll just put my hand up. Yeah, I'll do it.
I feel like it's so grounding to be like, you just have like 3 days where you don't have any other responsibilities and you're just in this zone with all these people with such good stories.
And on top of all that as well, like Mark is just one of the great humans all time.
Oh, truly.
So, you know, and whenever he's around here during that time, like whenever he's addressing the players or hanging out or doing the beanies thing, like he's just, he's super inspirational, because one, when you talk to Mark, he's one of us. Do you know what I mean? Like he's just doing these extraordinary things and growing the foundation. How big it's gotten, like it's
massive.
It's crazy, man. So to see someone like him doing so well, and people like you supporting him,
and
is
people
unreal.
coming out with all this story, like back for an example, just recently, man, that kind of that's so inspirational.
Yeah. And if it makes people feel comfortable, be able to talk about it in a public area, like that's going to help other people too. And like, the whole thing is awesome. But it was so good to see you guys out in the field that afternoon. And Lav was like, you look like you're like happy that it was done, but also happy
stepping
that
on the outside of my shoes, just like limping.
Everyone was, the limping part was the best part.
Yeah,
coming into the stadium.
It was awesome. And then obviously Lav thought her injuries were done then, but later that night...
Who among us has not torn their calf walking out of the green roof on a Sunday night?
Oh, man. You're crazy.
I ended up having to piggyback her up the stairs at the tent.
I had to go back and say goodbye because I feel that bad. I got home. I was like, should I go back and say goodbye to everyone? I was like, yeah.
That was one of those nights where it was like, I should have gone home. Yeah. And somehow we ended up at the Kent.
Well, yeah, the reason that we had a staff member have their farewell on the same night. So that's how it all kind of came about, that we met up with Lav and everyone at the green roof. And yeah, no, it was a good night, man.
It was a good night. But anyway, speaking about you were born in Fiji. Mm-hmm. Tell us about what got you into league and sort of like your journey to end up in Newey.
That was crazy. I came over for school, 2003, and I just had some Fijian boys at Warboy at the time at Central Coast.
Yep. And did you leave all your family in Fiji?
Yeah, I left mum and everyone just to come over to Australia.
Yeah.
I just remember Fijian boys because, we got training, come play touch.
Yeah, gotcha.
I ended up running around everyone, and then I signed right there, Warboy Roosters.
There you go.
Shout out to Warboy Roosters.
Yeah.
Then played for Warboy the first season and got picked up.
There you go.
I had trials up in Toronto back then.
Yeah. Dude, that sounds like those movies where like the scout goes to the park and they see the guy and they're like, sign him right now.
Yeah, I got signed straight away. Shout out to Dicko if you're still around.
Yeah. So. Hectic. So you did. So your first games of footy were Warboy Roosters?
Warboy Roosters.
Yeah. And then what happened to get you into the Knights pathway?
I had to did the trials. I got a letter to come up to Newcastle but I had trials for Tigers. I think Manly. Roosters.
So there's a few clubs.
Newcastle, Newcastle was my last trials.
There you go.
I made all of them, but I chose Newcastle because I wouldn't want to get lost in Sydney because I was only fresh.
Yeah.
So I chose Newcastle because of the train.
Yeah. What was it like being in Woi Woi without your family and like
that would have been
going
to
trials, going and getting
I had my dad there.
Your dad.
I had my dad there.
Yeah.
It was all right. I was still new to the place, so I still struggle to speak English. Now I'm speaking it right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I was still learning, man. I was still learning. But all I knew was footy.
Yeah.
I love my footy, and that's the first time I actually learned rugby league.
Yeah. With like you said then, like your English was really limited and stuff like that. How was it like? Because learning the game is hard enough when you can speak the language. Man, adding that onto it would have been even tougher, man. And
when I came through the SG Ball ranks, I learned from the boys.
Yeah.
When they're laughing, I'm like pretending to laugh. And then I think Malo, Scotty Gira, Corey Patterson, all the boys start like, just run the ball.
Yeah.
Catch the ball and run.
Yeah.
But I learned from those boys. I stayed in their houses a couple of times coming up to Newey and that.
Yeah.
But I just like...
that was a good game plan for you. Just pick up the ball and run.
Yeah.
Well, pretty much.
They're like, you need to know 2 words.
And the
ball,
jokes.
Yeah.
I learned, those little shitty jokes and then laughing. I'm thinking, it's not even funny. I never got it.
Yeah.
But until the next... I learned from all the boys, like with the English and that, so...
Speaking of Newcastle, Andrew Johns once said, and I quote, "In all my years in rugby league, I have never seen a better athlete than this bloke."
Oh, man.
How does that feel?
I feel great now.
Yeah.
Back then, I was just telling you, Jay, before, I was like, who's Andrew Johns? But now looking back, man, to get that from the GOAT himself, man, it's an honour. Yeah. Honestly, he's one of the best in Newcastle. He's still the best in Newcastle. So to get a massive rep like that and just...
and that was pretty early days, wasn't it?
It was.
I think that was like 2008?
2008, 2007, yeah.
When you played the game, as you said, mate, like, were you just looking to be like, I'm going to run this ball that hard. I'm going to be the most devastating ball runner I possibly can be.
Yeah, pretty much simple.
Just keeping it simple and doing those things right. Yeah.
Yeah, just very simple. And that all comes to all the old boys that I played with back then. They were ruthless, like if they're defending that hard through the middle, I can, the only thing I could do is make meters for them or score tries, you know what I mean? So if they're tackling hard, so I have to run hard. And I know during the week we practice that.
Yeah.
And for me, if I'm breaking the line or running straight at someone or footwork or as much meat as I can for the boys.
I reckon you were pretty ahead of your time, man. Like, if you look at the game now, your winger being able to make meters out of your own end is integral. Like, the wingers are getting the set started now.
Yeah.
And the forwards aren't running the ball till like the fourth tackle, third, fourth tackle. You were doing that 15 years ago.
You invented that.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, well, that's what he's saying. Like, the forwards are trying to get back on side. They've been tackling the whole set.
Yeah.
And you need those wingers, those big backs to come in and just punch some holes and get us going. Man,
100%.
Started that.
I think I loved the game that much then, and it's just like I said, what can I do to help the team?
Yeah.
And I don't just score tries and that's it. So I'll come up with a thing if I run up, run hard.
Yeah, correct.
So I don't really tackle in the wing anyway. So,
but like you look at that, like the Brian To'os and things like that, and they're like some of the big names. Like Aku was doing that, in 2008.
Crazy,
you know what I mean? Like it's awesome. Yeah.
You say that you don't just score tries, but you do. You
score heaps of tries. Actually,
the most that the club has ever seen.
Yeah, that's all I could do. I don't tackle. I'll just stay on the wing. I just.
But is there a specific try that comes to mind as like your favourite?
Favorite and the fluke. I think it was.
Yeah.
Remember, I think it was against the Roosters off the kickoff.
Mate, I was about to say, if this your favourite try
I
is not the one
didn't
off the
know.
kickoff,
Listen,
I'm not here because that was the best try ever.
That was the funny story. I think
that was at Gosford Stadium, right?
Yeah, that was against Brian Smith.
Yeah.
I remember Giz just fully blowing up at everyone.
Yeah.
That's just before halftime. He goes, if we don't get ball back now, I'm going to be pissed. So I said in my head, I'm going to go in there. Corey just put it up and I chased it, man. I caught it straight, score a try and guess,
bless.
It's one of the great highlights all time there.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever seen someone pluck the ball out of the air from the kickoff and score since then.
That was a fluke.
Yeah, but oh man, that was that one and dude, the first try he scored when you played Origin. As a Blues fan, that was unreal.
Look,
and like
my family will talk about that every time they put a lot of money on that. I didn't know what betting is back then, but yeah.
I hope they've not been putting a lot of money on the Blues to win every year since then.
No, when you watch Origin, it was like this year watching Bradman score that try in the third game. Like when it's one of the boys from the club that are up there on that stage and doing it, it's unreal. So when you did it, it was unreal.
I actually nearly chuck my TV outside when Bradman scored that try. Man, he was beast that game. Honestly, you know what? My girls will watch this and go, "So why didn't you take me there, Dad?" Yeah, they love Bradman. Yeah. My two girls love Bradman best. And KP.
It's like you don't want to go to Suncorp as your first Origin experience wearing a Blues jersey.
I don't think my phone has ever blown up the way that it did when he scored that try.
Man.
It was a great moment. It was a great moment.
Teary, man. Look, I love watching NRL.
Being a Blues representative of the past, what was it like to see that this year?
I represent Blue to the heart, man. To be retired now.
Yeah.
I think I watch Blues more than I watch NRL these days.
Yeah.
But when State of Origin comes through, man, I'm Blue all the way, man.
It's good, hey.
It's just that feeling, the feeling of it, man. This year, God.
It was a good time.
I got all my jerseys out and got the kids wearing it, honestly. Oh, man.
I do want to ask you, so we spoke your favourite try. What's your favourite off-field moment with the club?
Ron McDonald House.
Oh, nice.
I love going over there. I just love visiting kids and then in the hospital, doing clinics.
Yep.
I think one of my big thing was the fans.
Yeah, man.
I mean, if I can give 100% to the fans, they give 100% back to us.
Yeah.
That's why.
And nothing's really changed, hey?
Nah.
You still felt that when you were out there playing?
Yeah, 100%. I remember the first time I done it when I walked around the field every home game, and that was it. And I started doing it. That became my routine: win, lose, or draw at home. That was my big thing because I knew that there's a lot of kids that be watching there, and they don't want me to drop my head and just we lost at home. Well, I'm not gonna put anyone down, but I'm just thinking you play for the Knights, you go around and show the fans that win, lose, or draw. It doesn't matter. They still turn up. You still turn up for them as well. That was one of my big thing.
Yeah.
I remember Smilesy, the staff used to call me in, and I used to take my time.
Yeah.
I go from end to end, and just shaking everyone's hands and say thank you. You know, man, that was, man. I don't think I've seen. I mean, players do it now when we win.
Yeah.
But I think it should become a thing. Like you go around and win, lose, or draw. That was my thing, man. I did it my whole playing career in Newcastle at home.
And they're the stories that people like.
Yeah, man. You probably
young
would
fans go, wow.
Yeah, to be honest, I'll get it now. I get it now since I retired. Coming home, I guess like, oh, thank you for shaking my kid's hand. I get a lot of shouts at that now, and like people are like, oh man, you come around my business. It's just one of those things that I'm not doing it for favours. I'm just doing it just to thank them.
Yeah, 100%.
They turn up every game. I think Newcastle. I think we're one of the best fans in pretty much the whole world.
Yeah.
I always rate Newcastle as one of the best ones because, man, they turn up.
Nah, as you said, man, like I think a lot of people, you would have given them a positive experience where it's something that you're just doing because you know it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, man.
They're going to hold on to that memory for, you know, and that young kids now probably might have kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Now they're wearing nice jerseys and they're in the crowd, you know what I mean? So, you know, those experiences are mad, you know, and it's good, mate. The fact you did that was unreal. Look, you were such a fan favourite here, talking about the fans. How important, like, do you still, like, is the city still a part of your life?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you bring your family back here and you're still sort of getting in and around it?
Yeah, 100%, man. I don't think I can ever move out of Newcastle. Yeah. I know. I loved it in England. But I had to come home because the kids were missing the grandparents as well. And I was at the end of my career, so with all my injuries and all that stuff. You know, I couldn't sit back for one more year, just be in rehab and...
Yeah.
But, you know, my kids made it easier for me. Yeah. You know, I remember one afternoon coming back from rehab and I just kind of felt it. This is the time. Yeah. And then, you know, sitting the kids down, they were like, what's happening, Dad? Yeah. I said, oh, he's ready. So he's ready to go home and see grandparents. And they were like, yes. Yeah, cool. So that kind of made it easy for me. It was an emotional thing, but the massive... That was a massive help for my decision. Yeah, because I can't make a decision just by myself. You know, my kids matters to me. I've got 4 kids now. Yeah, and it's been since retired, it's been awesome. Well,
look, Lavender, I've never retired from professional sport, but when it's something that's such a big part of your life, and
where are you going?
No, I'm just saying, like, it's a massive part of your life, and we know what it's like here. You know, you're in a routine. You know,
definitely.
This is when you're playing. This is the break. This is pre-season, and you're doing that year after year after year. To break that cycle, I think a lot of athletes get a bit scared of the unknown of what's going to happen because you're not doing that all the time. And having something like that where you know that your family and your kids are psyched and want to go back would just sort of soften the blow a little bit because you've got your personal stuff with the sport itself. Yeah. Look, the emotional side of it with your family. Yeah. That can be tough to navigate, man.
Yeah, that was probably the easiest part, like when that decision. Yeah. And I have to, obviously the kids were still young, but I knew every time I go to training, oh, Dad, when we're going home, when we see grandparents. Yeah. But that kind of made it easy, man, just to see their face like, oh, yes.
Yeah, we're going.
So it made it easy for me. I'm back. So that kind of made it easy for me. And the transition was probably easier. Yeah. Yeah, talking about retirement, I remember back in the days it was probably different. You know, you get scared because, our boys goes, oh, make sure you have something to go for. But after footy life and all that stuff, which is good. But I never took it that serious because, while I'm playing, I'm going to make the most of me playing. I think most of the players take it in oh my God, I'm shooting myself now for after footy. Yeah, it's never happened. Yeah. Tomorrow's never promised. So I've always had this mindset of going, nah, hey, that's all right. I'll get there when I get there.
And live in the moment. Yeah.
And it did. When I came home, the easy, smooth transition from footy into working with kids. Now I think that's my strength, working with kids and 4 years later or 3.5 or something years later now. Yeah. Still doing the same thing and I actually enjoying it.
Yeah, unreal.
Speaking of kids, you got 4 kids of your own.
4 kids.
What are your thoughts on them playing league?
Look,
are you pushing them into it?
No. Look, I didn't push it at the start because I was enjoying the basketball and the soccer and other sports. So I think last year, the year before, my son was playing. didn't really push it too hard because, you know, he wanted to play soccer because we're in England, he loved soccer.
Yeah.
But and then my 2 girls were playing netball and the mum was coaching. And then they fully ditched netball like halfway through the year because of all their friends were playing footy. Dad, I'm playing footy. Oh, yeah, that's mad. So I just keep brushing it off now. This year, they're going pretty good this year. So
yeah,
my oldest semi-finals on this week.
Oh, there you go.
Hopefully she turns up.
Yeah, cool.
So I'm only just getting on board now this year because I'm helping out on, you know, like lakes and velo.
Yeah, cool.
I'm not all in, but I'm there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, mate, last thing I want to ask you, how psyched are you for Old Boys Day?
Yes.
Now, the people that don't know, obviously we do an Old Boys Day last round or last home game every year, and it's a big thing. The Knights Old Boys is a big part of this club, and we're really proud of our Old Boys stuff.
Yes.
But this year is a bit different. Where we're getting a lot of the Pasifika and Islander guys back through. It's like a bit of a theme, yeah? Is that what's going on?
It's massive. It's massive. Look, we've got the chat going. The boys are keen. There's about 25 of them turning up.
Yeah, man.
Which is good to catch up with all the old faces and catch up with all the old stories. You know how it is for Old Boys Day. But yeah, this is pretty special for us Islanders because I know we always, you know, keep it to our own and ourselves with families and that after footy. But this is a great time to come out and show the fans we're still around and doing great things in the community and their family and how they are. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, now looking forward to next week. This is massive, man.
We and we have a chance. Like, obviously, we all know our situation with the men. There's a few things that have to go our way to make the 8, but there is a chance that we're the last game of that Sunday. If they all line, we win and we make the 8 on Old Boys Day. We could have another repeat of 2011. You know,
what a better place to do it at home, man. I tell you now.
Surely that brings the good vibes. All the old boys getting together.
100%.
I tell you, man. Like, I love playing at home. I hate playing away.
Yeah,
but when I see like home, and I've always already said to myself, yep.
Yeah.
That's like
we're on
9 tries that 3 weeks. So I'm already sucking myself up. But, you know, I know the boys will come out and do their job. I know they prepare well this week and next week. So.
And if worst comes to worst, we'll just throw Aku out there and just
100%.
Give us another 12.
Put the 18th man bib on him and just off you go.
Oh,
you're out there.
Good. No.
Well, mate, thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us. What a great chat, man.
Yeah, man. It's
awesome.
It's always good to talk to the old boys. It's always good to get, because, you know, obviously we're here every day and with the current group, but to hear the old stories and things that were going on. And it's also awesome, and you had the same experience then, whenever you guys walk in here and you see the Centre of Excellence and all the facilities and everyone.
Oh, is this your first time here?
No, there's a couple of times.
Yeah,
I've been here
but just like they're always impressed with like the gym and the theatre and all that sort of stuff, because all that stuff.
It's like, where was this when I was playing?
It's more like not the gym, it's more like the recovery stuff.
Yeah.
We're going,
like, I could come here for.
I could come here just for like twice a week.
Maybe like a post track, you just come in and you go, technically,
You been there
I
a couple
could
of
be.
times after the track.
Oh, I should have done that. I should have been like, technically, I work for the club.
Yeah,
100%. Well, mate, thanks very much for coming
you,
in.
man.
We appreciate it, brother. And we'll see you at Old Boys Day.
Yes, come on.